So here we have an Xbox One steering wheel and pedals wired in via the Brook converter into the Nintendo Switch, and again this works as well. So on a game like Fast RMX, what you can do is you can map the buttons to what you want. So for example, on the pedals, they work out to be ZR and ZL. So on Fast RMX, I've put that as accelerate and brake. Now on a game like Mario Kart, as far as I know, you can't map the buttons, so the pedals would be useless in Mario Kart because you won't be able to use them. Now, although it does work, and it still is fun connecting it up, it's hard to play because what happens is it's working again as a digital signal. So it's the same as basically the directional pad. When you do left, it's not recognising that you're doing it like an analog left, which is bit by bit. So for example, you're going in a straight line and you just want to do a tiny turn, then normally you would just do this, and on, for example, the Pro Controller or the Joy-Cons, it would just move a small bit. But on this one, it's moving all the way. So it's the same as using your directional pad. So it's completely left or completely right. So on a game like this, which is so fast moving, it is very hard to play. But I'll give you a quick example. So what happens is you're going along straight and you just want to move it ever so slightly. Well, when you do that, it's moving all the way to the left. And then when you try to correct it, you're over-correcting because you're going all the way to the right. On a game like Mario Kart, it's much more easier to use because it doesn't really matter. The over-correcting on it doesn't seem to happen as much. So you're going most of the time drifting around the corners anyway on full lock. So it doesn't really matter so much that it's working on digital on Mario Kart. But on this game, which I'm going to show you now, it really is hard to control, but it's still just a bit of fun. Put on the accelerator again and it starts moving off. Left foot, brake. This is how to change the phase. So if I'm on blue, go through there. And then if I go through a yellow patch, I would have to put it onto yellow. And then I've done these ones up here to lean left and lean right. So for example, that would be lean right and that would be lean left. But you can map it however you want. So as you can see, it is playable, but only just about, because look, right now if I want to straighten it up, it's hard just to do it a small bit because it goes all the way. So it's no different me just doing it a tiny bit or doing it all the way. Right, so that's that one. Let me just show you Mario Kart working. So on a game like Mario Kart, it doesn't matter quite so much that you haven't got it working as an analog stick. There you go, so you get the idea. Although the control isn't perfect, it can still be fun using a steering wheel. Obviously, the other options are just to put it on motion control, and then you can get yourself a little steering wheel here that you plug your Joy-Con into, and then that is going to work perfectly. This is just to kind of show that the Xbox steering wheel does work on the Nintendo Switch when you use a little Brook converter. Now when you get your Nintendo Switch, it's a good idea to get a stand for it, because when you use it in tabletop mode, unfortunately you can't charge it up at the same time. So when you use a kickstand on a Nintendo Switch, there's no way that you can then plug the charger in the bottom. So that's why we get the stand, so we can put it on the stand when we're using it in tabletop mode and then put the charger in the bottom of it. Now you can get stands in all varying shapes and sizes and quality, ranging from £6 or £7 all the way up to £20+. But what I really like is this one here, because this one mimics an arcade machine. So if you have a look there, when I put my Switch into there, how nice does that look? So it looks really retro. It comes flat packed. It was £20 from Amazon. It still allows you to plug in your charger in the bottom here. It's got the cutouts for the airflow, for the air intakes. The exhaust fan's got no problem getting out there. and then you can put some stickers on it to personalise it, and then you have your own little arcade machine. And what I think would be nice, and it would be doable, is if you were to take apart the Joy-Cons. They're a little bit expensive to take apart, but hopefully when some aftermarket ones come out, you can take them apart and then you'd be able to have the little joysticks and buttons on here like so. So I think that would look pretty good, just like a nice little retro arcade game to play your Neo Geo classics on, like Metal Slug 3 and Blazing Star on the actual arcade itself. Okay, you can actually charge your phones and your iPods from your Nintendo Switch. So let's say if you're out and about and you didn't have access to any power supply, you really need to make an emergency phone call and your battery's about to die on your phone. Well, it's not a problem. You can plug it into your Nintendo Switch and you will be able to then make that phone call. Charging is going to be pretty slow. Don't expect a fast charge from the Nintendo Switch, but it could get you out of an emergency if you needed it. So all you need is a USB-C, because that needs to fit into the Nintendo Switch, OTG on-the-go cable, and we're just going to plug that into the bottom of the Switch, and then we're going to get our charging cable from the phone, so unplug it from the power adapter, and we're just going to plug it in to the OTG cable, and then the other end into here. This is an Android phone, and if you have a look in that top corner now, you can see that it is actually charging. And if I was to unplug it, you will then see the icon will go away, and I'm going to plug it in again now. And there you go, you can see it's charging, but it will be a slow charge, but it should be enough to get you out of trouble. Again, if for whatever reason you needed to charge up your iPod, obviously the same would apply to iPhones as well. Then if we plug it in there, you can see it's gone to green. Obviously when you do this, you are going to start to drain the battery from the Nintendo Switch, but if you need to make that phone call, it's going to be more important than playing Zelda.